Please remain standing for the national anthem to be sung by students from our senior class with Jayla Cook, Olivia Wadsworth, Tyler Wallace, Ryan Nugent, Anna Besmer, Griffin Harney, Sarah Van Duzen, and Katja Windsor. Please come up to the front of the audience. Thank you, seniors and band. Welcome to the 78th commencement for Housatonic Valley Regional High School. What a great day to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduating seniors. First thing I should do is thank Patricia Chamberlain for calling 7 snow days this year instead of 6. Because if she had only called 6, we would have had the graduation yesterday. So thank you, Patricia, for thinking ahead about that. Greetings to our Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Patricia Chamberlain, Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Pam Vogel, Assistant Principal, Mr. Ian Strever, our commencement speaker, Mr. Willis Hoot Belter, Board of Education Chairperson, Mrs. Andrea Downs, students Kira Cullerton, Mari Cullerton, Abigail Hansel Baumgarten, Julian Wiseman, and Joanna Spencer. I also welcome family, friends, and of course, all of our graduating seniors. And please be seated. Students, I want you to take a moment to think about the journey you've taken to get to this stage in your life. You've made many decisions to this point. So I ask you, who has influenced you along the way? This is not meant to be a rhetorical question. I really want you to think about this. Who has influenced you along the way? Of course, many of you are thinking about family or friends. Some of you might be thinking about a coach or a teacher that supported you through a tough patch or that pushed you to achieve at high levels. I'm guessing, however, that probably you didn't think of the name Patricia Chamberlain. Patricia Chamberlain is the longest serving superintendent in the rich history of Region 1 schools. She has been superintendent since 2005. And right now I feel her eyes burning a hole in the back of my head, but I'm not going to think about that. She's been in Region 1 serving the students, teachers, parents, administrators for 29 years. She has guided parents and teachers, Board of Education members, with a singular idea of doing what is in the best interest of you, the students. She has been the captain of the ship that you might say has many oars in the water. I think we can all understand if you have a ship with many oars in the water, it would be extremely difficult to steer. Heck, I go out for a kayak ride with my wife and paddle across a little pond, and I think World War III is going to begin. Patricia has done a masterful job of guiding and supporting teachers and administrators as we work to provide the highest quality education for the students of Region 1. Her steadfast leadership, therefore, has influenced all of you. She has been a positive role model for those that work for her. She is kind and respectful to all, and she takes great pride in the work that you do. Superintendents often work on big programs and district policy. Patricia does that, but she also cares deeply for the success of individual students. Over the past 3 years, I've had many conversations with Superintendent Chamberlain about effective educational practices and the best ways to positively influence young adults in Region 1. And for that, I say thank you to Patricia Chamberlain. Students, I hope you will also express your thanks to the quiet captain of the Region 1 ship, because whether you know it or not, she has been a positive influence in your lives. At this time, I would like to call to the podium our salutatorian, Mari Cullerton.
It is my honor to welcome each of you to the 2017 Housatonic Valley Regional High School Commencement Ceremony. Congratulations, students, for making it through a tough 4 years, and thank you parents, relatives, friends, and staff for helping us get to the place we are today. Graduation is, of course, an accomplishment for all high school students, but it is also an achievement for everyone who helped raise and guide us. In this crowd are people who have known you since you were born, and others who have no idea who you are, but are here to support you, nonetheless. Some are here out of choice, others because they have to be, but all are proud of what you have accomplished. Commencement is a day when all the region's towns come together to celebrate the achievements of a single community. I never really knew how tight-knit this community was until recently. But now I know that if you mess with some of us, you mess with all of us. Everyone here should take pride in that. Some should probably fear it. My fellow students surely know, as well as I do, that it was not easy to get where we are sitting today. I think I speak for most of us when I say that high school was a game of endurance and agility. That game has aspects that I would not wish upon my worst enemy, and others that all people should have the privilege of experiencing. It was the mental, social, and even physical challenge of a lifetime, and it should not be undertaken by the weary. There were likely days when you thought it couldn't get any worse, when you rolled out of bed after a long night of homework, spent finally attacking an essay you had waited until the last second to write, all because Google Classroom said you could. Of course, those were the same days you found a pop quiz waiting for you in English, demanding that you remember the color of a building in some chapter of a novel you had read at an ungodly hour of the night. Yet, by some miracle, you did. And at day's end, you think, well, at least I didn't have 2 pop quizzes. I'll admit, when I first came to Housatonic, I was skeptical about whether or not I would like it here. Looking back on the last 4 years, though, I am glad not to have gone anywhere else. The teachers here are some of the best I have ever had, despite what others may think. They have made the last 4 years not just possible, but tolerable. I can say the same of my friends and of my peers. I am sure every speaker says this about their graduating class, but I truly believe that the class of 2017 is one of the best to have ever passed through Housatonic. This class was definitely competitive about every aspect of high school life. Whether it was academics or athletics, that competitiveness was proof that we wanted to be the best at whatever we chose, or were required to do. At the same time, the members of this class were supportive of one another, and I do not think that anyone here wanted to see one of their peers fail. Our camaraderie and dedication are seen in few classes, our tardiness rate in fewer still. But take notice to that. Here's to us, one of the strongest classes in the history of Housatonic. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
Thank you, Mari. Please welcome our Superintendent of Schools for Region 1, Ms. Patricia Chamberlain.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Dr. Martinez, for your kind words. Tonight is about our graduates. It's a privilege to share some thoughts with you today as you leave for your next endeavor. Like you, I look forward to numerous new and exciting adventures. This class is an exceptional class in every manner. Over the past 4 years, we have witnessed the extraordinary talents and gifts that each of you have demonstrated. It has not only been a privilege, but an honor to serve as your superintendent and observe your social, academic, and civic development. This evening, we are joining together to celebrate the accomplishment of 107 fabulous graduates, all fine young women and men who have met the academic and social requirements here at Housatonic. Beyond these requirements, society demands more of today's students than was required of most of us when we graduated from high school. Currently, students are expected to not only master basic knowledge, but also the skills and the work habits necessary to be productive and successful citizens. They are expected to demonstrate their ability to think critically and creatively while solving complex problems in both the workplace and in life. Applying such knowledge and skills are fundamental for success in a competitive, democratic, and global society. Needless to say, we live in interesting and ever so challenging times that will require each of you to be lifelong learners with a deliberate focus on that of which you wish to improve upon. This lifelong learning occurs in a continuous cycle of testing new ideas, practicing necessary skills, acquiring needed feedback, reflecting upon outcomes, and refining and repeating this process. You have experienced along the way various and often challenging obstacles, and with the power of your passion and perseverance, you have shown us a level of determination and grit necessary to accomplish your short and long-range goals. According to psychologist Angela Duckworth, talent and ability alone do not make us successful. It is the individual's power of persistence, passion, and perseverance to overcome obstacles that is a greater predictor of success. As graduates this evening, you have done just that. You have not only mastered and applied the basics, you have acquired life skills and developed the necessary work habits to overcome challenges you will likely encounter as you move forward. Tonight, we are celebrating the completion of the first 13 years of your public school education. Webster's Dictionary defines graduation as a step, degree, or stage in a series. Think about that for just a moment. You have completed a major step in a series of steps that will make up your academic life. While in many ways tonight feels like an ending, it is in fact a new beginning, as your formal and informal learning are going to occur throughout the rest of your lives in cycles of continuous improvement. As graduates this evening, reaching this milestone not only required a series of steps and hard work, but a level of dedication and grit on your part. It has also required the support and guidance of those who are joining in your celebration today. Think of all the times that you were ready to give up, the times when it would have been so much easier to quit, to skip school, to forget homework or miss a test. But you did not give up, you persisted. You wanted to succeed and you made it happen. I suspect that a number of community members, family members, faculty, staff, and administrators who are with us today have also had those moments. But they never let their support for you or their belief in your capacity and potential to diminish. They have been with you all the way from the beginning. Graduates, please take some time this evening to thank those wonderful people that have been your support network along this journey. I encourage you to enjoy this moment. Be proud of yourselves. Be proud of your successes. Be proud of your many achievements. But don't forget the definition of graduation. It is one step in a series. Tomorrow, you will be starting yet another exciting phase in your life. Approach it with the same positive attitude and perseverance that you have exhibited here with us over the past 4 years. Many of you will be heading to college, others into the workforce. Some will join the armed forces. Some may travel for a while. Your paths will take you in different directions with many twists and turns like the Housatonic River. Whatever direction or purpose, remember that we will always believe in your potential to make your goals come true. Lastly, believe in yourselves, as there are many people surrounding you today that believe in you and want you to succeed as you create your own destiny. I'd like to close with some words of wisdom from a Brazilian athlete and World Cup soccer player known as Pele. He said, "Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do." With that, I want to wish you all exciting adventures ahead, filled with joy, happiness, and determination for many, many successes. Congratulations to the class of 2017, and best of luck in all that you do, wherever you go, whatever you choose to do, persevere. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Chamberlain. At this time, I would like to ask our 2017 class officer, Abby Hansel Baumgarten, to come to the podium for her message to the graduating class.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Abby Hansel Baumgarten, Vice President of the class of 2017. I would like to begin by congratulating all of my classmates. It has been a long 4 years that involved tremendous effort and work, so please remember to take some time and enjoy this moment. We have come so far and accomplished so much. Each of us has had different experiences in our time at Housatonic. During my time at Husi, I had the opportunity to participate in many incredible activities and academics, particularly the music program. With Mr. Krupa's help, I was able to transform my passion for music into a path for the rest of my life. As a musician, I always have music on my mind. While this can sometimes be a bad thing, as when Paris would get mad at me for humming in class, it really shapes the way I see the world. In some ways, our class was like a symphony orchestra comprised of different instruments, each member with their own part to play. Heard alone, each instrument has different qualities and characteristics and produces a distinct sound. Played at the same time, they make rich music, and our class's music was certainly rich. Each of us has a unique voice, and I hope you will raise yours and use it for good. I'm going to speak especially to the women in our class for a moment, but the message applies to everyone. In her recent commencement speech at Wellesley College, Hillary Clinton said the following: "Don't let anyone tell you your voice doesn't matter. In the years to come, there will be trolls eager to tell you that you don't have anything worthwhile to say or anything meaningful to contribute. In other words, sit down and shut up." And that, to paraphrase, is the last thing you should ever say to a Housatonic graduate. We are privileged. We have a wonderful public school system that helped bring us to this moment, and we should use that privilege to help those who do not possess it. How best to do that? We can vote. We can run for office. We can join organizations and support causes we care about. We can march. We can write letters. We can make phone calls. We can donate. We can speak out against injustice. And we can be accepting and kind to those who are different from us and hold different beliefs. If we each play our part to the best of our ability, as we have for the last 4 years, the members of Housatonic's class of 2017 will leave here and make music that changes the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. At this time, our AFS exchange students, Kristen Dries and German Scharbach, would like to share a few words with all of you. So, Kristen.
Hello, my name is Kristen Dries and I'm from Germany. I don't really know how to start the speech, but let me start it with this sentence. This is not High School Musical at all. Nobody's dancing in the cafeteria, and most people haven't even seen High School Musical. I don't want to say I was disappointed, but I was disappointed. Anyways, Husi is special. When I came to Husi, I was scared that I would never find friends here. But honestly, I found so many friends, you can't believe how thankful I am for all of them. Especially my chorus class. These people are just amazing, and almost all of them have voices like angels. We started with a group of 6 altos, and we ended with a group of 2. Thank you, Jayla, for being my partner. I learned so much here. I grew and I became a new person in only 9 months. Of course, I want to thank all my teachers for helping me. Mr. Mimelier, who taught me for the first time in 3 years that history can be interesting. I remember one time when I was having fun with my friends, and Mr. Mimelier turned around and said, "Stop doing whatever you do. Stop doing whatever you do, you look like you have too much fun." And of course, Mr. Lovejoy. I hated physics, and believe me, there was no day where I didn't mention it. But Mr. Lovejoy turned the worst physics lesson into a good one. And Mr. Prindle, I know I was never easy. And most of the time I was complaining about my animation, but you never gave up on me. I also want to thank my beautiful hostess. My beautiful sister Julie, who helped me so much here. And of course my whole family. Mom, we always did crazy things together, and I know we were embarrassing. I know you were embarrassing sometimes, but that's why I will miss the most. And of course Dad, my running addictive dad. I will miss you. How was your school? Oh, I know how it was. Boring. School might have been boring for me, but you never were. And of course Anna, who always made my cats smell good, because honestly, they don't without her. And my brother Jacob, who's so smart, we still have to play Rummy Cube against each other. Thank you for hosting me. It was an honor for me. And how could I not mention you, who helped me this year? My brother, German. I know we didn't live with the same family, but honestly, we saw each other every weekend, which could be really annoying for both of us. I know that we wanted to kill each other multiple times, and that we wished death on our meet a million times. But you're my brother, and that's what siblings do. Thanks for being my brother, my best friend, and my partner in crime. I want to take so much home. I don't think I can ever be a fully German anymore. There's so many things I learned here. And I want to thank Mr. Cannon and of course Andrea, who helped me with everything. And I want to thank all my friends. Emilia, who was always there for me, who was one of my best friends, and my whole G-Block gang. My beautiful Miri, who was there for me from the start to now, and which is one of the most adorable people I got to know. Abby, Victor, Olivia, who were always there for me in chorus. Connor and Ben, who were my history buddies. And of course, all my senior friends, Noah, Caitlin, Kate, Brooke, Chloe, and all the other ones. Before I forgot, I want to thank Husi for letting me be part of this. Thanks every single one of you. I love you all. Now I finally want to end my speech with a quote from The Office. But it's not really working because I cried, but it's okay. Because we were at Husi, I may not let tears out of my eyes, but I want you to know that my heart will silently weep and cry. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. German, your turn.
Hello everyone, Привет from Russia, Hola from Spain, Ahoy from Slovakia, and hello from Germany. My name is German, even though some people call me German or Herman. I'm actually from Russia. Let's skip this part. So going abroad for the whole year is a big decision, especially when you are 15. Yeah, I was 15 when I came here. I know, I look older. And everything that happened to me here reminds of how happy I am to have made this decision. Me and my dear friend from Germany never believed in luck. It is not a significant part of our cultures. Of course, we have no kids from Ireland with us. But once we got here and began to experience this society called Husi, we began to believe that we were the luckiest kids alive. The reason this was possible was not because of us, but because of all of you. You have made our experiences memorable and remarkable. The best times of our lives. There are lots of people who made my year so memorable and enjoyable, and I would like to try to thank everyone who helped make it so great. First of all, I would like to thank my family, who came to Falls Village to hear me speak. I think they deserve applause for that. A wise man once said, happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family in another city. Thank you, dear Mom and Dad, for everything that you did for me in all these years, and for all the sacrifices you made and difficulties you encountered just to give me a chance to go abroad and see the world. I probably used too many fancy words, so I would have to translate this paragraph to them later. I would also like to thank my host family, who have become a part of my family, for getting me out of my comfort zone and introducing me to the new culture. Thanks to Tim, my host father, for introducing me to the life of a country boy. I'll never forget the trips to the dump with Jason Donovan. If you're wondering, I did not get a chance to go to the dump with LeBron James and Lyndon Donovan, sadly. Those two are my weird dogs that have human names that I love, and I would also like to thank. I don't want to forget about LIBA, which does not stand for Long Island Beach Buggy Association. Those guys are not helpful this year. It's my cat. Thanks to Andrea, my host mother, for all the time you spent dealing with me and being part of every conversation, even if you're in the bathroom. Thanks to Lydia, my host sister, for the fun little rides in the car, a little because Andrea wouldn't let her drive far. Thanks to Jeremy, for my host brother, for the little quadricopter drone, which I'm still not really good at using. Thanks to the girl that became a best friend for me, for all the time we spent together and for how much we know each other. With the slam dunks, you can easily make it to UConn basketball to K18. I'll miss you, Kristen. I would like to thank my physics buddy, Matt Haldeman, for teaching me the popular American term redneck and what it means. Immediately after he taught me, I figured out that Austin Murray is exactly what he was talking about. Thanks to Jayla for all the good times, and never, you hear me, never forget the handshake. Thanks, Wallace, for calling me Gurm. I'll miss you too. Sweeney, Jazzy Whistle is the best track ever made by the best musicians. Noah, I wish your dream will come true and you'll get into this haunted or not really haunted house. I don't know. Gigi, I'll never forget your disco dancing for Mr. Housatonic. Justin and Mo, in my heart, you will always be the best doubles team. Mike, next time our opponents stand no chance against us in Badman. John, don't tell anyone, but your flash animation is the best. Griffin, because of you, I know what musical theater and pornography got in common. It's really mind-opening. It is hard to believe, but it is the end of my tremendous time with all of you. In a couple of days, I'll be taking down the pictures from the walls and packing my bags as I empty my room that has been home for the past year. It'll be time to say goodbye. All the great memories I have had here will be replaying in my mind like a movie. I'll miss everything and everyone. I'm thankful for your kindness and giving. I also thank the teachers who supported me throughout the academic experience and all the members of the faculty who helped me when I needed them. You see, this is not goodbye. This is see you in 2 to 10 years when I'm actually way smarter, wealthier, and more handsome than I am right now. Since I'm here, I might as well share some words of wisdom to give you that little push in times of trouble. As Terence Burns once said, don't stay in bed unless you can make money in bed. Thank you.
Thank you, that was great, guys. Please welcome our first class of 2017 essayist, Julian Weissman.
Last summer, as I was doing some hiking on Mount Rainier in Washington State, I felt true bliss for the first time in too long. The landscape was both beautiful and humbling, enticing me higher and higher up its glaciers. I looked out across the snow-peaked Cascades as if upon a cloud, experiencing the unadulterated aura of the earth in the moment. Only later on, after it had faded and I was back home, did I mistakenly come to think of that feeling as happiness. No feeling should be reduced to a word. Happiness comes and goes along with the more apparent facts of life. This feeling had surpassed reason, and the more I thought about it, the less tangible it became. Yet for much of this past year, I've tried to replicate that feeling, which only left me frustrated. Our mountains aren't that big. We live amongst our circumstances, and school could be confining when I really wanted to be free and in nature. Despite my aspirations for the present, I was serving a future self. There is no world truer than that which is seen through the eyes of a child. In our youngest days, we merely observe the world, devoid of judgment, content in our selfless existence. As we get older, we strive for unity. Throughout my schooling, I have been assured that I have lived for the sake of the real world, such a demeaning abstraction of life. The expression real world is confusing to a young child. I recall feeling that the present was inadequate when compared to this impending future, which was both a light at the end of the tunnel and a kind of treachery that could not be evaded. This notion of a ubiquitous real world is destructive not only to one's intent in life, but to the enjoyment of living. I savor my childhood and all it represents to me, because I am alive and existing, each moment enticing me to advance to the next. We are also all individuals, obliged only to our family, friends, and to the earth. It must be a societal, educational, and parental ideal to nurture children for the sake of the child, and not who they will become under the pressures to succeed. For success, happiness, in any construct of the mind is relative. How dare any institution refute the joys of living on the basis of some predetermined and obscured future? Allow children their innocence and curiosity and never let it go. The other day, I was riding on the roof of my best friend's car, waving a pirate's flag as we drove past that beautiful view where the Twin Oaks once stood. Neil Young resounded over the meadows. There's no thought in my mind, just an intimate connection to my place and time in that moment. That was the aura I had felt on Mount Rainier. I realized such bliss comes from the absence of thought, much like when I was young, no thoughts and no ego. This is the real world. Nature has no thoughts or moods, and the absence of these brings bliss to the observer. It is this understanding of the real world which must be taught to the children, that the earth exists, and in that existence is its beauty. We need not preoccupy ourselves with who we will become in the future, or what obligations we have to the more artificial facts of life. Each of us has our own truths, which are to be revered, and never sold out for the sake of ease or conformity. Paths to great prosperity will present themselves when we are most honest with our own thoughts, with those we love, and with nature. Explore life's greatest questions with the curiosity and naivety of a child.
Thank you, Julia. Please welcome our second essayist from the class of 2017, Johanna Spencer.
Transformation takes time. A second, a minute, an eternity. 4 years, a quadrennial. Transformation forces us to desert our beginnings and pursue change. School itself, change. A transitional period, adjustment and growth, furthering intellect both on paper and within. I am changed, though some recognize my features past and present, or from moments in between. Some do not know my name or face, others know both, but not me. Those who do not know or can't remember, I understand. I am transformed, and I accept this change. I am moments, flashes, light. I am altered to those who know me and those who don't, but I know who I am. I am enlightened, discovered, determined, realized. We are the same, sharing those elements that make us who we are. What should we be proud of? The essence that remains or the change? Are we proud of who we become in these last seconds, minutes, eternities? Was it worth it? Have we changed for the better? That is the greater question. We continue to transform, entering the world alone, making our own choices and decisions in our own way. 4 years for change. I hope you have become who you wanted to be. Adjusted, advanced, developed, modified, transformed. Thank you.
Thank you, Johanna. It's my privilege to introduce our commencement speaker for today, Mr. Willis Hoot Belter.
Each year, our seniors get a bit feverish over the prospect of landing a big-name celebrity to speak at graduation. There is no shortage of actors or artists in the area, and 6 degrees of separation become more like 3 in our small towns. This year's speaker may not be as well known outside of Region 1 towns, but just say the name Hoot within 20 miles of the Housatonic River, and people know not only who you mean, but why he is such a worthy commencement speaker. I'll pause for a moment. Willis Belter Jr., that is his given name, by the way, is a native son of Lakeville, where he grew up on a farm along the Salmon Kill. Life had other plans for Hoot, though, and that brought him out west, first to Colorado for school, and later to Arizona, where he met his future wife, Joellen. Although Hoot credits his larger sense of the world to that migration, he never forgot his roots in Northwest Connecticut. And when he applied for a job as a school counselor at Salisbury Central School in 1976, he listed his first employer as Belter Brothers Farm, where he apparently started work at the age of 5. Seth. We'll send the fact checkers out for that. That blend of farm work ethic and school counselor compassion made Hoot a perfect candidate for our student assistant position at the high school, which he occupied for the last decade before his retirement last spring. Ever since I met him, I've held Hoot in the highest regard, and though I've tried many times to relate my admiration to others, words fail to measure it. His ineffable ability to put people at ease is a model of grace to which I aspire. Students had both a kind ear and a wise heart in Hoot, and while he may never appear on the cover of People magazine, there's still time. When we think about the kind of person we want our students to emulate, someone with dignity, humility, and empathy, Hoot's face is the one that comes to mind. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Hoot Belter to deliver this year's commencement address.
Thank you, Ian. The last time I was, or a few years ago, we didn't have a train going by there. We had streakers going the other way. But that was quite a few years ago. Anyway. All right. Welcome students, parents, grandparents, relatives, friends, teachers, staff, administration, and alumni to this graduation ceremony for the class of 2017. It is an honor and privilege to be here tonight, and I thank you. In the fall of 2013, most of you entered the halls of Housatonic for your freshman year. I am sure there was a mixture of nervousness, like I am, anxiousness, excitement, and maybe some of you were a little scared. The next 4 years were to be another step towards the independence that we all began to crave as we entered the teenage years. Some of you came willingly, others not so much. How do I know this? For the next 3 years, I got to know some of you very well, others only at greeting in the hallway. I got to watch you in different classrooms and settings in school. You listened to my bad jokes and laughed, and you pranked me sometimes. There's a group of 133, you know what I'm talking about. And gave me different names. Yeah, you. And trying to discover my real name, and a couple of you turned me on to some really good food. The compliment you gave my wife when she sent in a version of what you told me about was very much appreciated, and it gave me another great meal that she makes for me now. Thank you, guys. The class discussions you had were powerful, sometimes good for you. Your insights were often amazing. Your willingness to help a classmate who was not getting it in class was admirable and appreciated. I talked with many of you one-on-one or in small groups. Sometimes it was just myself with you, other times it was another adult, either another teacher or staff member, a parent, or yes, sometimes even an administrator. Some of our talking was about things that you were learning either in the classroom, an accomplishment you achieved that you didn't think you could do, or someplace that you had gone or were going to visit that you had never been. Sometimes it was about the things on your mind that were bothering you or you were having a hard time dealing with. Lessons were to be learned from the hard times. Choices were to be made. But first options to these choices had to be understood. The question became, did you learn from these choices made when you knew what your options were on the difficult things that you had to deal with, or did you keep getting the same results from not considering all your options? I saw anger, which I think was really frustration when rules were deemed not to be fair, or when you had to take a class that you saw no purpose in regarding your future plans. Like me, I didn't think I would ever need public speaking, but Mr. Wood, VOAG teacher extraordinaire, VOAG department, decided I needed to enter the FFA public speaking contest in 1967. I came in 3rd out of 4th. That's pretty good. I didn't want to enter, but nobody told Mr. Wood no, and who knew how valuable of an experience that turned out in my life. I also heard, why do I have to take history? Go to Gettysburg or Washington, D.C., and you'll really understand why learning history is important. Math, I'll never use it. I've heard so many times. I could bring a list of former students who I heard that from, and yes, even some of you, that when working on engines or building a structure and landscaping, an understanding of math is critical. When I think of science, I think of environment. There are some who say we don't need to worry about global warming. All I know is that when I started dating my wife-to-be in 1977 and visited the Grand Canyon for the first of many trips there, the sky was always a bright blue. My last few visits there seemed to be under a constant haze hiding that bright blue sky. English, you will use it some way. You will have more choice in what to read, whether it be for pleasure, information in your career, or writing to someone. I have received some really moving written communications by current and former students who probably did not light up the scoreboard when they were in school. As a colleague told me, when you have a reason and a passion to write someone or about something that is important, some amazing things are written. This is true of anything. So in the end, memories were created, some good, some not so good. From you, I have many good memories, and I thank you for that. So what did you really learn the last 4 years that will be really, really valuable? As I just stated, the 4 academic classes will give you a foundation for your future. Some of you will go on to further formal education, some of you to the military, some of you directly into the workforce, and maybe some will take time to travel. What I think you learned that is valuable is you learned about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And I don't mean just academics. Have you learned how to deal with things you don't like to deal with? How to get along with people who think and act differently than you do? How to advocate for yourself and sometimes others? Problem solving is a term I kept hearing in math classes. Your journey in life will put challenges and difficulties in front of you. Can you step back and figure out the options for the situation, problem solve, and make healthy choices? Do these challenges become obstacles or opportunities to learn more about yourself and move forward in a healthy way? One thing I do remember from when I was your age is that sometimes you don't have a lot of self-confidence, but you are so much yearning for independence. So I challenge you to think about who your team is on this journey. I say this because for me, my journey since I left here in 1968, I found that independence for me is knowing how to be dependent on others when needed and who those people are. I learned this on sports teams, working on the farm, and in graduate school, and especially so in my career as a school counselor. Some of you are way ahead of where I was at your age, and that you know how to advocate for yourself, and yes, even when others when needed. I think you will find being able to advocate a very valuable skill to have for yourself in the future. You can either open doors or leave them closed if you don't try to help yourself. I learned that I don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but if I work with people who had the same goal, it was amazing what could be accomplished. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and when I partner up with someone who has a strength in an area where I have a weakness, I can look a whole lot wiser. Not a bad feeling. I've been very lucky in my life in working with many people like that in my professional career, both at Salisbury Central and at Housatonic, where we have worked for a common goal of helping students be the best they can be and to believe in themselves. This team of people includes teachers, staff, administrators, parents, community members, and yes, graduates, you. I'm also lucky to have a team of people in my personal life that help me share special moments, like the view of the Grand Canyon, the Rocky Mountain National Park, and many more things and events in my life. Never in my life has a team of people been more valued and appreciated as a team of people, including family, colleagues, community members, and some of you students who came together to help us and deal and cope with the loss of our son in August of 2014 when you were sophomores. Teamwork, a word that I hear sometimes people think is overused, but I think is underappreciated. Who will you want, and more importantly, allow and want to include on your team? But first, are you willing to be part of a team? There's a huge team here tonight that you've been on, parents, school personnel, relatives, and community members. I know sometimes you have disagreed with some of these people that were responsible for trying to guide and show you the way. But I can assure you graduates, there is not one person here who doesn't want to see you to continue to grow and flourish like you have over the past 4 years. In the years I watched you in classrooms in different situations, I heard you ask questions and things about things and ideas that you wanted to challenge. And yes, even rules and occasionally authority. I learned that there's a right way and a wrong way. If you challenge and don't have valid reasons, you are probably just criticizing or second guessing. If you can give valid reasons why you are challenging, you will be listened to more readily. If you challenge and have a potential solution to what you are challenging, you will be heard more clearly. It doesn't mean you will get your way, but you will be taken more seriously. I bring this up because as you have a past, you are in the present and you are our future, whether you stay in the area or move someplace else. You will be filling positions that many people in the audience now fill. Selectmen or members of different committees that help run the communities, and maybe school board members, employees, voters, and taxpayers. The main thing I learned in my 3 years with you was that I think we will be in very capable hands. I learned that as with any class, including mine, seemingly so many years ago, that will take all your talents, interests, and passions to keep this community and world going. You all have meaning in life and a purpose in life. You may not know what your purpose is right now, and it may change over your lifetime, but please remember, go for it and be the best you can be. Like in the construction world, before the main structure is built, a solid foundation has to be built. You have the foundation. You have been learning to do and doing to learn. Now it is getting closer time to earning to live and living to serve. Believe in yourself, accept yourself, and you will serve yourself well, and you will serve the world you choose to live in well. Some of you are very familiar with the FFA motto, and I think it applies to everybody. Earning to live means making enough money to live, a very, very important concept. There's something else that I want to share with you that goes beyond earning to live. At my son, one of our son's graduation for his doctorate degree, the speaker said to these computer engineering people who are going to be earning probably 6 figures and a lot of money, a lot more than I'll ever earn, he said, that's great, but he said there's 3 things that he thinks will help you have a good life. And those 3 things are this. Find a job that you really like. And again, I think you'll change jobs a lot of times. I think that's just what's happening. That's life today. Find a place you like to live. And be fortunate enough, when you're ready to make a commitment, start a family, to have somebody you really want to spend the rest of your life with. If you have those 3 things, I think he nailed that on the head. You'll have a good life. That was sage advice for those graduates, a plan for living life. That made me think of a poem a friend once shared with me called The Man in the Glass, author unknown. And this is something I hung on my office wall, and I often try to have people read it. So tonight you get to hear it whether you want to or not. The Man in the Glass, when you get what you want and you struggle for self, and the world makes you king for the day, just go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what the man has to say. For it isn't your father or mother or wife whose judgment upon you must pass. The fellow whose verdict counts most in your life is the one staring back from the glass. Some people might think you're a straight shooting chum and call you a wonderful guy, but the man in the glass says you're only a bum if you can't look him straight in the eye. He's a fellow to please, never mind all the rest, for he's with you clear up to the end. And you've passed your most dangerous, difficult test if the guy in the glass is your friend. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get pats on your back as you pass, but your final reward will be heartaches and tears if you cheated the man in the glass. Final words. A lot of you have read this book, famous author, Dr. Seuss. If you haven't read it, you should read it. Oh, the places you'll go. Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Congratulations and best wishes. And congratulations to the 5 retirees. I don't know if they're all here tonight, but that's a big step to that.
Thank you, Hoot. And now, please welcome the Class of 2017 valedictorian and Class President, Kira Cullerton.
There is never enough time. This phrase has been said by just about everyone I know. Never the time to finish the essay by midnight, so instead, it was turned in by 2 in the morning. Without the time to begin work on the science fair project early, it was begun, if we were lucky, a few days in advance. Of course, this was all because of our lovely friend, procrastination, whom we held so dear to our hearts. There was always enough time to put off the schoolwork, until the day there was not. Still, I can remember the days when time could not have moved any slower. I am sure you have all heard the joke. If I only had 1 hour to live, I would spend it in this class, because it feels like an eternity. A feeling too true on a Monday morning. Where did that time go? It feels as if we were climbing trees and changing the oil of lawnmowers and life skills just last week, and seeing Elliot and Justin in dresses for Mr. Housatonic only an hour ago. Yet, here we are. The class of 2017's time, our time, has come to an end, and for whatever it's worth, there will never be a class like us again. Now, in our final moments at Housatonic Valley Regional High School, I'm supposed to give you advice. There is no advice I could give to all 107 members of this class that someone here does not already know. Everything I could possibly cover has, in some way, been covered. Those of us who were hermits had someone teaching us to get outside, because life is too short. We found that life can be hard, and will probably get harder, so we fashioned ourselves a helmet a long time ago. We have learned best from each other. Friends stood up for one another, held doors for each other, and looked both ways before crossing the street. Most of us got lost and nonetheless made it out to the other end of the road. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, we had the go-getters who reminded the rest of us when it was time to stop procrastinating. All I can offer is this, which many of you probably already know. Never waste your time being something you are not, nor expect anything less from someone else. Time does not stop. Time does not wait. Every second that flies by is one that can never be taken back. You do not have time to be anything but yourself, and neither does anyone else. Whether you realize it or not, there is someone who counts on you just as you count on them. It may not be the same person every day. Perhaps it was someone who smiled when you were having a rough day. Maybe it was that one person who knew they could trust you to open the door for them when they were a few seconds late to school. It could even be someone you have yet to meet. Be honest to yourself and know who you are, because out of more than 7 billion people in the world, and the billions before us, there is and will only ever be one of you. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2017.
Thank you, Kira. At this time, we will present the diplomas to the class of 2017. Mr. Striever, will you come to the podium to read the names, and Mrs. Andrea Downs and I will present.
Catherine Windsor. Cameron Gabrielle Caruso. Michaela May Oyanadel. Catherine Camilla Seabury. Kimberly Hope Kinsman. Caitlin Ann Belanca. Haley Madison Galata. Julie Wynn Horowitz. Cheyenne Morgan Wandal. Morgan Nina Jackier. Sophie Marie Lake Genuves. Jayla Mackenzie Cook. Grace Elizabeth Dorothy Cohn. Sierra Marlis Hurlbert. William John Guillen. Kira Siobhan McElroy. Anna Victoria Besmer. Grace Chauciel Langto. Molly Lynn Banat. Sarah Elizabeth Coolbath. With honor, Chloe Robinson Dakers. Rosa Gabriela Morales Quiñones. Ryan Elizabeth Nugent. Tyler Michael Wallace. Olivia Waterfield Wadsworth. Caitlin Lee Wolford. Rachel Lee Wilcox. With honor, Angela De La Paz Tabor. Shelby Nicole Luminati. Bailey Antonina Jackier. Courtney Ann Rue. Vanessa Catherine Hesterberg. Megan Rose Akjar. Catherine Elizabeth Stoddard. With honor, Eve Iris Cullerton. Sarah Nellie Van Dusen. Brooke Ashley Alonia. Matthew Alexander Labadia. With honor, Justin Robert Gregory. Madeline Alyssa Sheldon. Grace Scout Bedingfield. With honor, Paris Sant Bedingfield. Samuel Thomas Foley. Kaylin Francine Riley. Sharon Jacqueline Dupree Speck. Hunter Thomas Riley. With honor, Margaret Jane Sullivan. Griffin Eugene Jacob Harney. William Joseph Hurley. Brooke Marie Dodge. Molly Ann Simmons. Andrew David Fallon. Margaret Ashley Riccardelli. Caitlin Patricia Carol Devaney. Samuel Cooper Humes. Caitlin Estella Rose Cecchinato Flint. Hannah Marcy Burrell. Erin Louise Fleming. Benjamin Orrin Humiston. Alexandra Grace Winans. Alejandro Tavares Bermeo. Matthew Douglas Holderman. Kyle Edward Neal. Jordan Scott Santiago. Abigail Christine Johnson. Mara Alyssa Dorsey. Emily Kristen White. Trisha Marie Worthington. Roland James Holsgrube. Emily Joan Sullivan. Catherine Electra Tortorella. Liam Barrows Sweeney. Jacob Halsey Johnson. Blake Martin Buckley. Amanda Lorraine Jackier. Justin Patrick Fitch. Lindsay Shea Nijak. Noah Raymond Gabriel Light. Austin Taylor Murray. Kirsten Renee Groves. Catherine Sarah McGuire. With honor, Catherine Byer Starr. Lauren Elizabeth Segala. With honor, Scott James Dignaco. Michael Sean O'Connor, Jr. Dante Joseph Maddock. Elliot Uva Gabrielson. Danielle Gore Wilkinson. James Howard Bartram. Anthony Leonardo Catalan. Jacob Lawrence Spur. Jonathan Timothy Bristow. Aaron Michael Bushy. Connor Owen Reed. Nicholas Aaron Swanson. Evan Peter Wilkinson. With honor, Noah John Watson. Jack Larkham Feeney. Finian Michael John Bambury. Christopher Hugh Curtis. Justin Pattingale Gomez. Connor Michael Pratt. Julian Henry Weisman. Johanna Emily Spencer. Abigail Ann Handsome Baumgarten. With great honor, Mari Elizabeth Cullerton. With greatest honor, Kira Ann Cullerton. Now I would like to invite Kira Cullerton, President of the Class of 2017, to the podium to administer the Oath of Athenian Youth. Would the Class of 2017 please rise?
We will never bring disgrace on this, our community, by any act of dishonesty or cowardice. We will fight for the ideals and sacred things of the community, both alone and with many. We will revere and obey the community's laws, and will do our best to incite a like reverence and respect. In those above us who are prone to annul them, or set them at naught. We will strive increasingly to quicken the public's sense of civic duty. Thus, in all these, we will transmit this community not only, not less, but greater, better, and more beautiful than it was transmitted to us. At this time, will the class of 2017 please move your tassels? Please be seated.
It's my honor to present the Good Sportsmanship Medals. Good Sportsmanship Medals are awarded for participation, academic excellence, cooperation, and coachability in varsity sports and related activities. This year, the award goes to Mohamed El Sarafe, who is not here with us today, and Margaret Riccadelli. Good citizenship medals are awarded to the girl and boy in the senior class who by conduct and example best exemplify the high ideals of scholarship, character, leadership, and service. This year, the awards go to Kira Cullerton and Noah Watson. And now to present to the Community Award of Merit, Mr. Striever.
Catherine Katie Gannett joined the Housatonic family in 1964. She had graduated DePaul University in 1952 and gotten her MA at Columbia University and joined the faculty as a health and PE teacher. Within a few years, she moved to the guidance department where she exhibited a talent for challenging students to strive for their highest potential. Her work there is remembered as being both bold and encouraging. In 1965, Dr. Stoddard asked Katie to take the helm of the American Field Service in the school, a program he brought to Region 1 in 1952. From that time until now, she has been devoted to the Falls Village chapter of AFS, the oldest continuously operating chapter in the country, and to the mission of providing young people with intercultural experiences. For 50+ years, she has been an energetic volunteer, an ardent advocate for students and families, and a tireless proponent of global experiences for us all. Another example of Katie's devotion to the Housatonic family is her work for the FFA Alumni Association. For 34 years, she served as the secretary for that organization. Her support of agriculture as an essential part of a life well lived is manifested in her legendary flower garden, which she has shared with the Northwest Corner by welcoming visitors and sending spectacular blossoms for display to this school, as well as the Falls Village Inn. In 2006, her garden was archived by the Smithsonian Institution. She notes that her Airedale, Dinah, has been immortalized in some of the photographs that contribute to that archive. Katie also served as chair on the Cornwall and Regional Boards of Education. Since 1992, Katie has worked with the John Austin Chaley Foundation to send underserved youth from Region 1 to excellent residential summer camps around the country on renewable, full scholarships. In 2016, Catherine Gannett was honored as the Foundation's Volunteer of the Year. Because of Katie Gannett's outstanding commitment for more than half a century to the young people of Region 1 and the community at large, we honor her with the Community Award of Merit for 2017. Thank you. Now will you all please rise for the singing of America the Beautiful.
Thank you. Be seated. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Thank you for joining us tonight for this evening to celebrate the graduation of the class of 2017. After the recessional, please join us for some refreshments outside of the superintendent's wing over to my left.
When Miss A want me to do that. Just cut it. Hey, cut it. Thank you.